Friends, I feel this might be one of the most embarrassing videos I've ever filmed. I am gonna be outing myself and I'm not ready, but I hope that you are. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. So very excited that you're here. Huge shout out to Patreon channel members for voting for this prompt. We actually had a tie, so another prompt that they have voted for will be coming later this month. And if you're a Patreon channel member, please stay tuned today for the poll for you to vote on what videos you would like to see next month. Today's prompt is sharing 5 manga that I've read but have no memory reading. And one of them I feel is going to make some people very upset because I have several friends who love and adore this series. And I'm like, I read it, but I have really no memory of it. So yes, let's go ahead and jump right in for the embarrassing moments. And I will say, these are in no certain order. Just sort of looked at my reading journal, and whichever ones that I had like the least memory of reading, those were the ones that made the top 5. So with that said, for number 1, Saint No, I'm Just a Passing Beast Tamer. The Invincible Saint and the Quest for Fluff. So yeah, I read 2 volumes of this, and I think I vaguely remember the very beginning. It's about a young woman, and I use the blurb, so if it sounds like I know, it's just shout out to the blurbs online for helping me. Thank you, publishers. Because, yeah, it's sad that she's a young woman. She was, like, really sickly in her previous life, and she couldn't really interact with animals, but she loved animals deeply. And so when she's reincarnated, isekai into this other world, she is like, oh, you would be a beast tamer in this world, and now she's super healthy, and she's like, I am going for the fluff. I don't care. But the thing is however it worked, her magical abilities show that she should be the saint, and she doesn't want that. No, she doesn't. She's on that quest for the fluff, and I feel bad because I don't remember the quest for the fluff. I think I still remember with the cat that's on her head. I think remember how she tames him, but no. And I was even more shocked that I read 2 volumes. I'm like, okay, volume 1, I have a little bit of scratchy memory, but volume 2, I have no memory. I was literally speechless when I saw in my reading journal. I'm like, we enjoyed volume 1 so much, we came back for a second volume. Like, I don't even know the rating I gave for volume 1. Let me see if I have it on here. There's only one series that I read that, oh yes, I gave it 4 stars, and I said definitely looking forward to volume 2. I feel so bad. I feel so bad that, yeah, I don't have any memory of this. There were so many things I loved about this series, with probably the biggest being how supportive her family is in her new life. Despite that being a beast tamer so frowned upon in this society, her parents know how much Kanata has always wanted to pet an animal, but they seem to all hate her. So when her father suggests she become a beast tamer to help form friendships with animals, that's been her dream ever since. Oh, okay. Apparently I love some interactions between Zaggy, I think that's the cat, and the female lead. She's just so excited to be able to pet the fluff, and he's just so confused, but it's like, if this is part of training to help her get stronger, I'll do it. Oh goodness. Yeah, so apparently I liked it, and I have no memory of it. I do apologize on that, because that was part of my review that I wrote online, and I have no memory of writing that either. Oh, for number 2, oh, bear with me, friends. Every person that's a fan of the series, don't come for me, but blank canvas. Yes, a 5-volume josei series by the same creator of Princess Jellyfish. This is sort of like an autobiography of sorts, I believe. I know that it documents the mangaka, like her telling her story through the manga. I know I read up to volume 3. I didn't finish it, not because I didn't like it, but because I was overdue with returning my volumes, and I've just never come back to it. I don't know if that's just because I don't remember, like, I know that her teacher slash sensei was really gruff. Didn't he carry like a baseball bat or something? The only vivid thing I remember is just her saying at one point, maybe it was in volume 1 or it was a different volume, but she just mentions how she is one of those people that needs sleep. And I'm like, girl, I'm the same way, because I think there was a time where like she was not sleeping, like she was only getting like 3 or 4 hours of sleep every night for weeks. I'm like, girl, how you functioning? Because again, if I don't get my full rest that I feel my body needs, I am not a happy person to be around, I'll be honest on that. But yeah, I don't have any memories of this. That's really all I got. I think where I ended, I think she went off to college, but it wasn't a good start or something like that. I don't really know what my review said of this. I didn't think to look up my reviews beforehand. Based off of what I wrote on Goodreads here, Volume 1 was probably my least favorite, giving 3 stars. Volume 2 I gave 4, and then Volume 3 I gave 5. What did we say about Volume 5? What were we saying? All right, let's see what my review here says. I was so unsure if I would enjoy this series, and honestly almost stopped after Volume 2 because it was much heavier than I expected. Maybe if it hadn't been a hectic 3 days with sick kiddos, maybe I wouldn't have felt that way, but nonetheless I did when reading. However, I told myself to pick up the next volume because I know at least 3 people who said the series is in their all-time favorites, and I felt I had to read this series to completion because of knowing that. I'm sorry to those 3 people. Obviously, I'm only on Volume 3, but this volume hit a lot differently than the previous 2. I feel maybe more of her creative journey was more relatable to me personally, especially when she shares when you are completely at your limit, that is when you then make time to pursue your dreams / passions. Not only that, but I think the reflection that she had in having to choose what to pursue really resonated with me as well. I don't know where I was feeling this relatability. I don't remember. I don't remember this. What did I say for the other 2 volumes? I don't know if I should have said that I read both of those series, Saint No and then this one back in 2023. So I don't know if that played a role in me not remembering, but I'm like, well, I remembered other series when going through my reading journal. So yeah, I didn't really say much of Volume 1 in my review of it. I saw also note that her artistic journey is nothing like I imagined. I have even more respect for her than I did before because I feel honestly I would have given up drawing at some point with the teachers she had. Yeah, that's pretty much all I remember. I don't remember much about, I don't want to say the female lead because that reflects the manga, but I just remember more about Sensei, about her teacher, and I do feel like I guess I need to come back at some point and see how the series ends and probably just do a fresh reread at this point. For number 3, I definitely feel very bad about this one because tell me why. I actually have a video review on this series and I saw it in my reading journal and I said I read that. And that's The Haunted Bookstore. That is the manga, not the light novel. I believe this series is fully completed at 4 volumes, but I only read 3. The funny thing is, I remember the poll I did concerning this manga because I was going to do like seinen / shonen series only to find out that this was like either a shoujo or a josei. That's all I remember of this manga. It is about a bookstore though. I believe the female lead works at this bookstore, and there's some kind of overlap between the real world and the spiritual world, and she's able to go over to it and she knows different yokai, and then she meets a guy who's getting rid of these spirits and something happens, goes down with him, and that seems to be the overall story. I know it's slice of life, and again, I have a video review on it. I did like it. In fact, I saw my review right here. I gave it 5 stars, so obviously I really liked it. I unfortunately did unhaul it a few years ago, or a year ago, I think it roughly was. I didn't have plans to come back and reread it, and I'm at a point in my collection where I'm like, I'm only keeping things that I will reread, or they're just very, very hard to get. Sort of like my sister, the cat. I saved it for my daughter, but she's in a Dux now, so I don't really know if we'll ever come back to this, but I don't have the heart to get rid of it because it's a really cute series. But concerning my review here, said, however, I think it's very important to know that this is not a spooky read, even if it has yokai and goblins. In fact, there was 0 spookiness in this volume, which surprised me because despite that I heard everyone say the title is super misleading, which I would also agree with. But the thing is, I think it's why I deeply enjoyed this first volume. It's a very relaxing, enjoyable read. There's a variety of super interesting characters that are yokai, but without giving me the nervousness of potentially feeling scared. Oh yeah, that just sounds like it's coming from me. I also went on to later say that I love the female lead. I really liked how she'd rather be with the spirits in the spirit realm than the mortal realm because that's where she felt she belonged, even if she was immortal herself. When, I don't know who this person is, comes on page with all his, oh, that was her dad, or a person she considered her dad. When he comes on page with all his grumpiness, I love how she tells him her dream and why she enjoys living where she does. It makes her a very endearing character, especially when it comes to the end because my heart totally broke for her. I don't remember how it broke for her. I guess speaking more at the end, for the grumpy guy, he really redeemed himself by the end and how he reminded her that she might be human in a spirit world, but that doesn't mean she needs to shut off her superhuman emotions. Yeah, reading that, I didn't even realize that she was shutting off that part of herself and not really living, I guess you would say, as a human and not allowing herself to feel the emotions. Yeah, I've got nothing, and I know I spoke highly in that video review. I did not watch it before filming this video, but it just made me feel really awful to highly recommend it and then not be able to tell you again what it's about because I'm depending on these blurbs to help me out. Like, it's just really bizarre to me, and I don't know what changed. I feel like I didn't like one of the later volumes because it sort of was setting up what seemed like a love triangle, and then when I heard that the series was ending at 4 volumes or 5, I do remember that I lost my investment of wanting to continue because I really wanted to see more. I felt like the series should have been longer, just the same way as the light novels were, and I've heard great things about the light novels. I've heard great things about that, and part of why I picked up the manga is because I hadn't seen anybody talk about it, and I'm like, well, I want to know what this is about, and so I went and got it. I think I bought like some used volumes, not even sure how I bought it, but yeah, I've got a review. If you need something that has yokai, not scary, Past Me would definitely recommend this series. For number 4, another series that I looked at this and I'm like, I read this? And that's Alice in the Country of Clover, Cheshire Cat Waltz. This centers around Boris, who specifically represents the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. And yeah, I don't know if I have a review, honestly, of this because I know I didn't continue it. And all I know is just that Alice has been teleported to a different part of in the country of, I was gonna say country of hearts, but the main series is in the country of hearts. And now she's in the country of Clover and Boris is with her, and so a romance is unfolding between them, and yeah, that's all I got for you. That's all I got. Like I said, I don't even know if I wrote a review of this. I just remember being very surprised. I actively had read 2 different volumes, and I feel like the funny thing is I can't remember what it was about, but I'm like, I know I messaged a good friend of mine who had read it, and we talked about it, and I think I told her I didn't like how Boris acted, but she liked the series. Did I like the series? Let's go to Goodreads and see, because I'm not 100% sure what happened here to give you a reason of maybe why I don't remember it. Maybe because if I can remember the conversation I had with my friend and I didn't love how Boris acted, did my mind remove it? But the weird thing is there was another series that I read. It's a spin-off with the March Hare, who's my favorite of all the guys. I can remember reading that, but I can't remember reading this. Oh my goodness, I actually read 3 volumes. And I gave volume 1 and 2 1 star. Oh my gosh. And volume 3, I gave 2 stars. What happened? My opening thoughts here. I just don't know. Girl, yes, I just don't know why you don't remember. Boris was so fun and sweet in the main series that this Boris just doesn't feel like him in this volume. I can understand him being insecure, but what I can't understand is why he forced himself upon her time and time again. I felt he was one of the more respectful guys towards Alice, but he isn't like that or nearly as fun. Between him and Blood making comments about Alice joining him in bed. Oh, well, that could have been a factor. And I remember, again, I don't remember the manga, but I remember the conversation of how all these guys are pretty unhinged. They're not respectful in any kind of sense towards Alice. For the review for volume 2, I said better story, but I absolutely hate the romance in this one. Alice and Boris are always fighting, and Boris is always getting jealous and thinking she wants to be with someone else. I mean, you're seriously going to be jealous over her petting a cat. Oh, much heartbreak because I love the main series so much, but I can't read more of this series with how much I dislike the constant back and forth of I thought you were mine and you need to do X thing to prove who you are. Oh, but there was something I liked. The one thing I did like though is the battle tension between Boris and Ace. That was really good, and appreciate how the spinoff made Ace unhinged, but not so unhinged that it was extremely disturbing like what I've seen in Knight's Knowledge. Oh yeah. I was going to get Knight's Knowledge because I also really like Ace, and then I checked it out and I said, oh no, I'm happy and content with what I've seen in the other spinoffs or in the main series. Let's see if I wrote a review for volume 3. Do we have something? This was 10 times better than the first 2 volumes. While it definitely is not my favorite of the Alice series spinoffs, there was actual character growth in this one, and Alice and Boris actually communicating. Okay. Since I'd already ordered this volume and couldn't cancel it, I went ahead and tried it out. I don't have plans to pick up the rest, but I'm glad that I at least least read this before donating it to my library because it took a lot of my upset away from before. Okay, well, it apparently redeemed itself in some form. No memory of that at all, but I'm glad to read past me's reviews. And yeah, I really feel like maybe it's just me blocking it, but even if volume 3 was better, and by the way, look how cute this cover is, because that cover is absolutely adorable. But yeah, I have no memory of that. And I'm just befuzzled, bamboozled of like what was happening. And I bought the volumes. Where did I even buy them? eBay maybe? I think I did order from different places of what I could get. I guess I canceled the other remaining volumes, I'm assuming. You're good as guess as mine on that, honestly. And then for the last one, oh man. Okay, so that is a Springtime with Ninjas. And I read the whole series. And I can't tell you a single thing of what it's about. I read the blurb and I said, this is what it's about. And not only that, I found out that this is by the same creator as Love at First Memory. Absolutely love it. Have a first impression on it. So really good. A friend gifted me volume 1 for my birthday. And yeah, it exceeded my expectations. Not only that, I've tried her other series, Boss Bride Days. Absolutely love that as well. Have another first impression of that. And I don't know why I don't have a review or a first impression of this. I think I was sick when I read this, so I gave myself a little bit of leeway. But yeah, about the book, I couldn't recall that off the top of my head. It's about the main female lead who seems to be an heiress. There was something like if anybody kisses her, or whoever kisses her first, that she would have to marry them. So she has a bodyguard who is a ninja, and he's very much, I guess, a playboy. And so he protects her. The only thing I can remember is that she does have feelings for him, and there was a little bit of messiness with that because I think he liked her too, but he really wasn't vocal about it. And I feel like there was just something stopping him. I don't know what it was, but I waited to see what my ratings were on this and if I liked it, because I remember if I liked it. I feel like I was a little bit disappointed by the end, and I'm like, well, I must have enjoyed it if I bought the whole series, and I read the whole series. But let's see. Look at my screen. Look at my screen. All 5 stars. And I have no memory of this. I feel so bad. I feel so bad. I even thought I didn't like the end. Oh gosh, this is embarrassing, y'all. Let's go to volume 1. Oh dear. I even knew who the mangaka was. I knew who she was, and I didn't know, like, right me now, present me had no idea. That's why I say, wow, this is only my second time I've read by her. She has such fun characters and humorous dialogue that I deeply enjoy, and this series was no exception. It's hard to say what was my favorite part of this story because right from the first few pages, I found myself laughing and sucked right in. What? Our heroine is a fantastic shoujo heroine who definitely is a romantic at heart, but also brave and bold. I love how she wants her situation to change, even if she realizes it won't be all what she thinks it will be if it does change, which plays a great role in the story later on. I also really like the male lead and how the reader knows things about him. However, even if we didn't, I would still really like him. He's super cool and a perfect fun hero that really fits well with our heroine. Let's go to volume 2. We'll go to volume 3. Let's see if something is getting joggled in the brain where I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that I love this for X reason, because nothing's happening. All right, this is a really short review, another fun volume. Really enjoyed all the characters and how this story is packed full of dramatics and shenanigans that result in lots of humorous and sweet moments. Not much else to say, except I continue to really enjoy this series, even though the stakes are a lot higher in this 3rd volume. Apparently the male lead stat's horrible though, because I did make a comment on that. Volume 4, maybe it's got something for me, fam. Maybe it's got something for me. Oh goodness, I'm saying no, I'm so sad it's over, followed by a bunch of crying emojis. What a fun series. Okay, I started this on a whim since I was so sick and it really perked up my days when reading. Our female lead was definitely a damsel in distress and cried more often than not, but she was also deeply passionate and caring. I deeply enjoyed seeing the desire she had for change between masters and ninjas come full circle in the final volume. I will even say in more ways than one, though I won't say more due to spoilers. All right, past me knew something. I also deeply enjoyed how the ninjas were were prevalent all the way to the end. Some of it didn't feel realistic and some over the top, but it was just so fun to read, especially when the male lead was involved. He always surprised me and was always looking forward to what he would do next. Not gonna lie though, I got teary-eyed in one spot reading with him. And the ending, it was everything I hoped it would be. Overall, this was a great series. I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for a story with ninjas, a stubborn and passionate hero, and a really fun but sometimes worrisome because #danger romance. I don't know what to say about that, friends, but that's pretty wild. I gave all 4 volume 5 stars, and I didn't remember a single thing. Not even reading my review, I just don't know. I don't know. So yeah, those are 5 series that I really don't remember reading. This video was really outing myself, and I'm so sorry if I read a series that you loved as one of your favorites. Like, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. But I would love to hear from you. Surely there has been a series or a manga or a volume that you've read and you're like, yeah, I read this and I have no memory of it either. Please let me know so I'm not the only one that's over here like super embarrassed. I would love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!